morning, Inkies. I hope you are well. Today I am going to work on an actual page in my Hobonichi. I have come to the conclusion that I'm going to try and do every day from now on and actually work on it every single day and then slowly fill the back pages. Otherwise I will never ever get anywhere near where I want to be. So yesterday I headed into the city. I probably shouldn't have because I have been fighting some weird crazy virus that Sam and Sian also have. I have come to the conclusion that I think we got it when we went to Sugar Republic and it's taken like a week to develop and fester and grow because we all have the same symptoms. The only difference is I got cold symptoms on top of all the other stuff. So I'm under the influence of some nice cold and flu meds, so I feel a little less crap, but I wanted to work on the spread from yesterday, like work on yesterday as a day. I went to the city, probably shouldn't have, but every now and then I like to take myself to the city on my own. I love going to the city with my family, but sometimes the kids just aren't down for doing some of the things that I like doing. Like I love going to the Japanese bookstore and just meandering and looking at everything at a really slow rate. And sometimes I need to think about how they're going to feel doing that, because I know we are a big book family, but sometimes I just don't want to do it, and I would go every day all the time. And there was a Netflix series that I'm watching with Boo at the moment called Hilda, and we've been watching an episode each every now and again as a mother-daughter thing, and it's based on a graphic novel. So I tried to get my hands on the first two, but because of the Netflix series it's gotten wildly popular and they didn't have 1, 2 or 3 in stock, so it was a bit of a fruitless journey. I did happen to pick up book 4 in a manga series that my husband's reading. I am currently reading 6 of Crows, and I started that yesterday, so I'm 70 pages in, so that's my current read. So I'm thinking I might take a photo of that maybe. I did pick up 2 books because obviously I didn't pick up any of the Hilda graphic novels because I did want book 1 and 2. So I got The Poet X, which has got slam poetry in it, which I discovered through Colleen Hooper. I'm trying to think of the book that had slam poetry in it, one of her first ones. If I can remember, I'll put it up on the screen. Anyway, I fell in love with the whole slam poetry vibe, and this has had quite a lot of book talk in the booktube community, so I grabbed it yesterday, and I also grabbed Ember in the Ashes, which is like came out ages ago, but I never got around to actually picking it up and reading it, so I kind of consoled myself with 2 new books because I couldn't get the graphic novels. And the other cool thing that I picked up was, if you haven't watched my Instagram stories, I picked up a electric sharpener that is USB powered. I mean, you can put batteries in there, but I bought it for the specific purpose of having it plugged into a USB, and this is so good and I'm so happy. If I can find the brand online anywhere, I'll put it down below. It was $27.99 from Dimmicks, and considering some of the electric sharpeners that I've seen here in Australia are over the $100 mark for a power one, which is ridiculous, this I thought was a steal, and it works really well so far, and I'm really enjoying it. So I want to actually sketch this out because it was a purchase. I also want to sketch a little cartoon of what I wore yesterday, and that's why I've got my little Japan book out, because this little outfit, oh, not this little outfit, but this little character is like one of my favorite ways to draw me. So I pulled her out to make sure that I could sort of get the same sort of facial features. Obviously I wore all black yesterday, but I wore like a star top and stuff like that, but I felt really comfortable in it. Sometimes my mum friend said to me, why aren't you all colorful today? And I said, sometimes it takes a lot of energy to dress up really brightly and to deal with the fact that you will be stared at the entire day. And because I was feeling sick and I have just been really low energy, the last, like February was a really low energy month, I didn't have it in me to deal with all the stares. Some days I am all good, and if my energy's high, I get stacks of compliments, which is really lovely, but I just didn't have the energy to do that yesterday and to be that focal point yesterday. So I made sure I was very inconspicuous. Obviously I've got bright pink hair, it's pastel pink at the moment, but I just didn't want that extra added attention and the stares, and I didn't have the emotional guard up to deal with being stared at, whether people are intrigued, whether people are admiring, or whether people think I'm a freak. So I wasn't up for that. So I want to draw a little outfit of the day. I also picked up another teapot, like a tea strainer thing, like brewing pot. I have one that when you put it on the cup, it drains it from the bottom, and John and I fight over who gets to use it. So I bought him his own yesterday so that I can brew us 2 different types of tea at the same time, because he likes a whole heap of different tea and it was driving me insane. So I finally went into T2 and grabbed a second one because they had a deal on. So I took a picture of that I would like to sketch. I did get the some happy mail from Fran yesterday, but because of all the things I want to add to this page, I'm actually going to make it I'm actually going to pop it on the Thursday page, because nothing of any substance happened on Thursday. So you get this cute little card that says thank you for your purchase. I've had her stickers in my cart for so long, and I finally went and grabbed them. So I got all sets of her stickers with the days of the week, all the planner stickers. They're so cute, and these ones are the older set that I just never got around to purchasing. So I grabbed those, and I also grabbed the zine Perks of a New Body. And it was like a zine about turning 30, and I wanted to buy all the things in her store, all the things that I hadn't bought. I almost picked up a print, but I couldn't pick one at the time, obviously, so I just grabbed these few things. I love Fran. She's one of my faves, man. I think she's a favorite of or every artist, illustrator. She's everyone's dream girl. So I've got those, and I think that's about it. I did a test print of the Scribble Rainbow for collage sheets, and I'm totally obsessed with it. It is going to look so cool. I've used it in a lot of the some of the elements, like I've made things from it, like the butterfly wings that you got ages ago. I put a color under it, so that this is going to feature quite heavily in this month's collage sheets. I really love it, like hardcore. So that is what I'm going to do. I am going to put it in speed because there's no way I'm going to talk all the way through this. I do need to print some photos because I did take a picture on the train yesterday. So I need to do that, and I need to sketch out the little character. I will do some of the sketching on camera. I will turn the camera off for a little bit of sketching because it just takes up a whole heap of time. I've got my eraser and maybe that one. Sorry. So let's get started with this what do you call it, Hobonichi with me. Oh my goodness, it's Saturday morning, guys. I'm really exhausted, but videos and my work are important to me. I have been promised a trip to the op shop for looking for books if I get my work done. That is how John bribes me these days, with trips out basically. So I want to get this one page done for you guys, and next week is collage sheets, which is exciting. I've got the finishing touches, just finishing some illustrations and doing all the Tetris work for it, and then we are good to go. And I might actually take this to Officeworks today and put it on acetate because I really want to see what it looks like on acetate. So I might do that as well today because I really want to see what that looks like. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to start sketching. I do know so I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to start sketching, then I keep talking. Now I want to sort of semi-plan this page out. I don't have a heap of text, but I think I'll probably put the text around about here. So I want to make sure that I've got enough room for my text. Now I know that I want to sketch out this sharpener, and I want to draw a little blunt pencil and a little sharp pencil, because I didn't realize, but my blunt pencils drive more than just Nikki crazy. Romany sent me a message after my Instagram stories saying, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you got this. I'm so sick of seeing your pencils blunt. It makes me laugh. So I wanted to include some pencils. So if I was to, I don't want to do really huge realistic pictures, because I just don't have the energy to sit there and render it all. I think my little character might go like here. So I might put her here, overlapping a little bit of the collage. I have considered stacking the books that I purchased, so John's book as well, like this, and have the titles and have that. I could have a little monster holding the stack of books, which I might actually do. So I will need to photograph that and John's book on a like white background, because I literally just want to cut out that so I can put that on the sprocket. And then I have the picture that I took in the train. And because there's this little, sorry, I've just smacked the camera. All this down here, I'll have to cover that up with something so I've got more space. But I might put the little snapshot from the train here and do it like a Polaroid. I might cover this up. So I'm just sort of, sometimes when I'm feeling really stuck and stressed about my journal, like this Sugar Republic page, I absolutely hate where it's at the moment, so I'm kind of stuck. Oh, this is an idea for a tip in that's coming in March, Safe Houses. But I wanted to pre-plan it a little bit so I didn't feel so lost, so I feel a bit more in control, so the video isn't taking me a whole heap of time of faffing about. The faffing about is what takes up the majority of my time, especially when I don't go in with a clear idea. Now, I don't always do this, I don't always pre-plan, but there are elements that I want to get on this page, and because I want to make sure everything fits, I'm trying to pre-plan it. So I can have my snapshot here, I can have the pencils coming off here up the top and a little version of this, and then I want my outfit of the day here, and maybe I'll have the creature holding the book stack, or maybe I'll put my outfit of the day up here and then have a little monster down here holding the books, because I want him to have it like his hand out. So there's that. I think I will make the sprocket print half and half, so maybe my little print will have half the picture from the train and half the book stack. That way I'm sizing them down so I've got more room, because this does take up quite a large amount of space, and at the moment, because I have so many elements that I want into this page, I want to make sure that I've got the room to do that. But I still want there to be a space for writing and things like that, because that's a lot of the meat of it is the writing. So it'll be very much trying to work around in a border like fashion, which is what I tend to do when I'm trying to get lots of stuff in. I will work in like a border and have the text in the middle. So I wanted to make sure I'd gapped off or cordoned off a section for the text. Then I know exactly how much room I've got for everything. So my little outfit of the day won't be huge, but it'll just be a little cute little thing up here. And then I've got my monster holding a stack of books. Then I've got the picture from the train. Then I've got the pencil sharpener up here. And maybe my keep cup, because I did take my keep cup with me for coffee, which I do every time I head to the city. And I think that may be everything. So the first thing that I need to do and go and do now is to go get hubby's manga off our bedhead and go and photograph these so that I can do that. Oh, that was the other thing, the teapot. So maybe I can draw little versions, like tiny versions of these things instead of making them larger things. I did take a snapshot, hold on, of the teapot here so that I could sketch it. so there is there. So I put it on that angle. It's a very simple little thing. It's got his tea in it from this morning, but it's not hard to draw, and I wanted to sort of sketch that out quickly. I do also thought about sketching the actual tea bag that I like, the tea that I purchased for him yesterday, but there's quite a lot of font and I'm not that great with font, so maybe I will get a picture of him holding the tea, but then I'm running out of room. Anyway, I'll work it out, but this is the sort of pre-planning that I go into when I have a lot of elements that I want to get on the page. And this won't be for every day, because yesterday was like a day that I left the house and actually did something, so that makes pre-planning kind of important. I'm babbling now. I need to finish my tea before it goes cold. I need to take these photos, get them printed, and then let's get sketching.
Seems like forever since we've been together.
I used the Project Life app to do a duo picture on my little sprocket print, and I grabbed some pages out of the Paper Lovers book that I had lying around because I needed a few bits and pieces of paper to cover up that little bit of the Japanese writing down the bottom. I feel like it's just wasted space, especially since they're not in English in the A5, so I always try and cover them up with something, and so I decided to make a little, you know, Polaroid print backing it onto some of the paper, and I really loved that little drawing of the flowers, and so I decided to rip that up as well and put that in the corner of my page. And this little print is the page of my book that I was reading while on the train ride home. It's the only picture I took of like on that day, so I wanted to make sure that I added it to this page. I completely forgot that I had neon pink tape in my Dymo, but I wasn't mad about it. I'm pretty happy with the fact that there is. I had thought I'd lost my pink tape. I'd lost it inside the actual Dymo, so that was kind of dorky. I added a little bit of the brown paper to sort of offset, because the backing of the picture and the floral came from the same piece, so I needed a little bit of different shaded paper to sort of divide them. It wasn't necessary, but I like how it looks.
The only thing I need is you beside me. Oh God, I miss you so bad. It's been so long, I know, but I'm finally coming.
I've cut out the little stack of books that I took a photograph of, and I'm trying to sort of get my hand positions for my monster. It takes me a little while to get the feel of things, and I don't mind erasing things. Sometimes I don't like how the little monster looks, or his facial features don't suit the look I'm going for, so I always tend to keep erasing and keep going. You just got to be a little bit careful with the Tomoe River paper, because it's not very, you know, super sturdy, and especially when you're erasing, I find that I almost tear pages sometimes, so just be nice and gentle with your Tomoe River paper. And I zoom in a little bit because I thought you might have trouble, and I'm just giving him big thick black glasses. I probably should have done the big black love heart glasses, because that's what I had on yesterday. Even though I was all in black, I still have a few quirks to me. I can't help it, it's who I am. I tried doing different types of hands, and I just didn't like how they looked, and I didn't want to spend so much time trying to get the perfect hand gesture, so I literally just did the most basic, and I'm just adding in the facial lines and getting the sort of characteristics right until I was happy. And then I realized that I probably didn't want to do all my drawing in lead pencil, because knowing me and being a left-hander, it would smudge, and because I knew I wanted to add either watercolor or my Zig Clean colors to the page, I didn't want to have murky colors, so I switch over to my Color Eno in pink, which is my preferred sort of colored pencil erasable pencil, and I have that, it gives that little pink tint, and I'm not gonna ever not want a pink tint to my things, so I decided to have him holding up both, using both hands instead of just the one, and you can see me fiddling with like bits and pieces down there. I'm really happy with how he turned out. He was super cute. Although overall I like how this little version of me came out, I do like her much better in the pencil than when she was all coloured in, and I think that's because my black pen was a little bit too harsh. Even though I did outline her in a dark grey, it just didn't work for me, so I may try doing the wine Copic multi-liner again, because I seem to think that it suits my little illustrations a lot more if I do it in the wine color as opposed to black. I think black is too harsh. The dark gray was not dark enough, but I think she's still quite cute. Her legs are too short, but that's okay. I knew I had only a limited amount of space, so I was alright with just having really short legs. I'm short in real life anyway. I'm 5'4", so it's not like the end of the world. But I do really like how soft and lovely she is in pencil. But I guess once she's finished, she still does look cute, but I do prefer the pencil sketch over the final outcome.
Days pass and I'm still the same inside my head, and I can't stop thinking about what you said. I gotta tear my wall apart, and it's the only way to start to let you in. When it's over, I will see what I've done, letting go too soon. Oh, I'll be stronger if you just step right in, 'cause I need a start to let you in.
I'm using a Unipin fine line, and they recently released some new colors like a dark grey, a sepia tone, and a lighter cooler grey, and I picked these up at Kinakoya a couple of trips ago, and this is the first time trying them. While I really love them, and Unipin was and still is one of my very big go-tos because they're waterproof, it just didn't suit my drawing. I'm currently lining my crazy curly hair with the Muji fine liner. Again, it wasn't thick enough. I need thicker pink pens. I seem to be running out of those. My hair was curled on the day, but it doesn't look like it in my illustration. But like I said, it is very easy breezy. I'm not stressing about all the details. I just want the feel of what my outfit was that day. I'm not going for like perfection. I'm not stressing about it. I added a little bit of the clean color, added some Prismacolor pencil, and just adding bits and pieces as I go. I try and not get too down on myself because I don't normally draw myself hardly ever, and I think the last time I had drawn myself was in the pages of this journal, and before that it was my Japan journal. So I think I need a little bit of practice. I'd like to do a little more little self-portraits like this. I think they're very cute, and I just need to have more practice. So practice makes perfect, so I'm not like hating on it. I've got my clean colors out because I always remember how much I loved my Zig clean colors on the Hobonichi paper. They move so beautifully because that Tomoe rib paper has that sort of almost like a coating, and they move really, really beautifully on this paper. So I didn't want to go straight in with like a black watercolor, so I'm going in with the black pen because my dress was black, and then just moving it all around. I do come in with a Prismacolored pencil just to get those little areas that didn't quite darken up enough, but I didn't want to just go straight in with like black paint or something like that, so I'm just doing it in little stages.
Someone make this headache go away. were dancing in the dark with a feeling in our hearts. Felt like we had it all. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark with a feeling in our hearts. Felt like we had it all. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark. Whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, oh,
Heart filled with worries, no more. In a world full of sorrow, what for? You watch the world from the place beneath the willow, the willow. So many years, too many tears on your pillow, on your pillow. Out of the darkness, a sound. It all seems so harmless. A silver light. Don't you wait until the morning light, the morning light. Far away until you're out of sight, you're out of sight. Cause you gotta live now while you can. Don't look back, don't forget. You gotta live now while you can. Don't look back, don't forget. You gotta live now while you can. Don't you wait until the morning light, the morning light. Far away until you're out of sight, you're out of sight. Cause you gotta live now while you can.
I grabbed out my Copic white ink stuff that I bought in Japan, and I am just whitening up the pencil sharpener and adding it as a highlight because it's really hard to sort of add those highlights, and I think that's the best way to do it. And I really like it. I applied it with one of the Mab Graves paintbrushes, and it works a treat. Sometimes the Uni Pin Fine Line, or the Uni Ball Signo I should say, isn't quite white enough, so I love how white this stuff is. And I also got a whole heap of ink up the side of the page because I got a bit quick, and being a lefty I dragged black ink up the page, so that Copic white stuff erase that for me. So that's a nice little pot. If I whenever I get back to Japan, I'll definitely be buying another pot of that thing. I just really enjoy it, and I'm just adding all the little highlights and things to my monsters, using all the different mediums, all the pens. A lot of my pens seem to be drying out. I don't know if that's because it was such a hot summer here in Sydney. I've actually started tipping them upside down to see if it's because they've been stored wrong or what, not sure. I got hubby to hold the the bag of tea, because I didn't want to even attempt to try and draw it because Text and me are not friends. I don't have Sian here to letter it for me, so I just got him to hold the bag for me and added it as a picture. And then I also took a photograph of the Six of Crows cover. Again, wasn't going to sketch that, didn't want to do any hardcore sketching this morning. This is the Epic pen from Jane Davenport. I managed to clog it trying to work over that Copic multi-liner. I love this pen. I love the carbon ink. It's such a great all-rounded pen, and it definitely draws over almost anything. And I was feeling like those Unipin fine lines in the greys just weren't popping my illustrations enough, so I went over some of the lines with the black. And adding in my stripy sort of border, and then I'm doing my little final touches on the page with my Jane Davenport magic wands. They're my favorite sort of unicorn colors, and then I wanted to add some confetti for some reason. I think it's because Mardi Gras is coming up tomorrow, well today here in Sydney, and there were rainbow hearts all over the city, so it was just super cute. And I've added a few of my Fran Nerd stickers to the page just to sort of really set the mood, and also because they arrived on the Friday, so I wanted to have a few of those little bits and pieces in there to represent some of the things that happened in my day, such as having my hot tea. One of them says "you can do it," which is me, you know, being excited by the fact that I went to the city on my own. It's not something that I do very often.
Alright, I think I am done. I've added my text, which you normally don't see me do. I used my Jane Davenport magic wands to do all my sort of colouring around the outside. I'm going to have to buy a backup set of these because I don't ever want to be without these. I really love the magic wands. They're just a good all-rounder, and I've sharpened them all-ish, which is probably a nice difference. I use my paint pens to make some confetti, and I think that's pretty much all I did, besides, you know, add a little bit of line work here and there and sort of line everything. But that is my Hobonichi page for yesterday from start to finish, and I hope that helps and inspires you to have a go. Even if you're doing this kind of thing in your own journal, you don't have to have an Hobonichi to be able to do this documenting of your day and drawing your day. You can definitely just pick one of your favorite days that you've had lately and illustrate it as something different. Don't think that you can't use reference photos. I took a photo of this to draw, and I had this in front of me, so I always have reference photos if I am drawing something from life, because I can happily draw a monster like that, no problems. But when it comes to actual real objects, I always need a little bit of help. So that's a great way for you to not feel so daunted. I always have a reference photo for things that I've never drawn before or haven't attempted. And if you're in a journal slump, you could definitely try this as a style to try to get you out of it. Don't be intimidated, give it a go. There are no wrong and right ways to journal, but I do really enjoy the process of illustrating my day and adding all these bits and pieces. And finally, I have like a page that I'm quite happy with, because this was just making me crazy, and I'm gonna have to work out what the heck I'm gonna do with this page, because I kind of did the background. I hate the background, so I'm gonna have to work on it, but I might do a couple of pages tonight sort of off camera, a lot of gluing and sticking because I've got so much ephemera lying around. But that pretty much is it for today's video. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Your next video is collage sheet day, which I need to go and put the final touches on everything. Got everything pretty much done. I just need to sit there and Tetris everything, and the only thing that hasn't been completely worked out are the numbers. So that is all ready to go for Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me again. It is the 2nd of March, so if you're seeing this video, hopefully with all the payment processing and stuff, it means that you've joined me for yet another month. Or if you're new, welcome. I hope you stay a little while and get inspired to create pages in your journal and just have a lot of fun documenting all the things in your life. Right, I am going to go and I am going to have some fun playing in this little guy and try and get some catch-up pages done. So have a lovely weekend, Inkies, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!